Namo Bhagavate Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Hare Krishna, dear devotees. Thank you so much for joining today. We wanted to seek the blessings of Radha Madhav, Radha Shyamsundar, Krishna Balaram, Bal Gopal, Gonitai, Nrsimhadev Bhagavan, Srila Prabhupada, Guru Maharaj, and the assembled devotees. So continuing with trying to understand or trying to get to know a little bit more Radharani's position. We continuing. So Krishna regarding Radharani. So this is what Krishna is saying about Radharani. My beauty, Krishna's beauty, defeats the beauty of infinite million cupids. And though it gives pleasure to the three worlds, seeing Radharani gives pleasure to my eyes. So we can see the comparison that Krishna is making, right? His beauty attracts infinite million cupids, but yet he is attracted to Radharani. Vibration of my transcendental flute attracts the three worlds, but my eyes are enchanted. My ears are enchanted by the words of Radha. So everybody loves to hear the flute, right? And can you imagine what the flute may sound like when it's played by Krishna? Extraordinary. Yet, he is attracted by the words of Radharani. I am the source of happiness for the entire world, but Radha is the source of my happiness. So this is what Radharani means to Krishna. It's intense, very intense indeed. So this is a little idea of the spiritual and material worlds. We have the topmost spiritual planet is Golok, which is the abode of Radha and Krishna. And below Golok is Ayodhya Dham. Below Ayodhya Dham is Vaikuntha. And surrounding these planets, the spiritual world, is the Brahmajyoti, the effulgence of the Lord. Beyond the effulgence is Mahesh Dham. So this is regarded to be in between the spiritual world and the material world, the Lord, the abode of Lord Shiva. And then we have Devi Dham, where we are resident. So Radha Krishna, they perform their pastimes eternally in the spiritual world. But they also they descend to the material world. And when they descend, they bring everything with them because they have nothing to do with this material world. So when they come with Vrindavan, and they don't step into the material world. They actually still within the spiritual. It's like an embassy. They create an embassy in the material world, and that embassy is the spiritual world. So he comes often in this world in order to remind us of himself, to re-establish dharma, to destroy irreligion. So many reasons he comes. He does so many things at the same time. And together with him comes Srimati Radharani, at least 5,000 years ago. And in the spiritual world, this is their abode. There's a lotus, and in a roll, in the middle, is Radha Krishna. Radha Krishna is there, is in the center. And on the petals, the outside petals, the first set of petals belong to the gopis, followed by the manjaris, and then followed by Yashoda Mai. Yashoda Mai, who is in Vatsalya Ras. So in this way, these petals make up all the wonderful devotees of the Lord. And this is a little glimpse of what the spiritual world may well look like. It's very beautiful. It's such a beautiful painting. So why Radha appears on earth? They live in the spiritual. Why do they appear on earth? Radha and Krishna eternally reside in Golok Vrindavan in the spiritual sky. Over 5,000 years ago, Lord Krishna himself appeared on earth to re-establish Dharma, destroy Adharma. But why did Radharani also appear on earth? Also, why was she separated from her beloved Krishna for 100 years when he went to Mathura and then Dwarka? There is a pastime which took place in Golok Vrindavan as mentioned in the Brahma Vaivarta Purana. This is in the Puranas, a pastime that took place in the spiritual kingdom. And really, this pastime was to facilitate Radharani and Krishna appearing in this material world. One time in the Ras Mandal, in a secluded place in the forest in Golok, Lord Krishna enjoyed pastimes with Sri Radha. Overcome with bliss, Radha could not understand herself or anything else. Leaving her unsatisfied in the midst of their pastimes, he went to enjoy amorous pastimes with Viraja, another gopi. Seeing Lord Krishna embraced by Viraj in the jewel pavilion, Radha's friends at once told their mistress. Hearing their words, Radha became angry and lay down on her bed. Her eyes like red lotus flowers. Radha wept bitterly and said to them, "Show him to me." This is the pastime between Radha and Krishna. Supreme Lord Sri Krishna is controller of everything, but Radharani also controls him. If you speak the truth, then come with me. I will give Krishna and this gopi the result they deserve. When I punish her, who will save her? Will her quickly bring Lord Hari's other lovers also? So Radharani is upset. This anger is not ordinary anger. This is transcendental anger, meant to increase the enjoyment that the Lord has in the spiritual world. Once she reached there, at the entrance, she saw a handsome, smiling, lotus-faced guard, accompanied by 100,000 gopas. There she saw Sri Krishna's dear friend, Sridham. Seeing him, Radha, her eyes now like red lotuses, angrily said, "Go away, O servant of a debauchee. Go away. I will see what kind of beautiful lover your master has now." Hearing Radha's words, strong and fearless Sridham, holding a stick in his hand, did not allow her to enter. Wow. Their lips trembling, the other gopis angrily pushed the servant, Sridham. Hearing a great commotion from the people of Golok, understanding that Radha was angry, Lord Krishna disappeared. The heat was too much, even for the Lord. Hearing the word Radha and seeing Lord Krishna disappear, Viraja became afraid. By practice of mystic yogi, she gave up her life. Her body at once became a river encircling Golok. So this is the Viraja river. It actually encircles the whole spiritual world. The Viraja river, also known as the Karnanad Ocean. Sridham was always for Krishna. He's a Gopa. And he could not bear to hear Krishna insulted. Sridham faced Radha and said, "If you scold my Lord even once, I shall curse you." So there's going to be a little bit of a fight going on here. After hearing these most powerful words from Sridham, Radharani became even more angry. Her lips were trembling, her hair became loose, her eyes became red like fire. She told him, "Oh, foolish one, oh, super foolish one, servant of the debauchee, Krishna, listen to me. You think you know everything. You think I do not know your Lord. O fallen one in Braj, is Krishna only your Lord? Is he not my Lord? I know that you always praise the Divine Father and blaspheme the Divine Mother." So she's speaking in anger. As the demons always blaspheme devatas You're always blaming me. That's why I now curse you to become a demon. It's a heavy curse. You leave Golok and take birth in demon species. This is my curse. Let us see who can protect you from my curse. Sridham could not digest this. He too cursed Radharani in turn. You're getting angry like a human, hence you'll become a human. You become a human without any doubt due to my curse. In Gokul, getting the company of Krishna, you will enjoy pastimes in the forest. Then you will experience a separation of 100 years from Hari. After that, you'll get again his company and return to Golok. This is his curse. After saying this to Sri Radha, Sridham offered his humble obeisances to her and left to meet Krishna. He explained everything to Krishna and started crying. The Lord told Sridham, you can see the power of Radharani. I can see that now you go to Earth planet. You will appear as Shankachuda, the king of demons. No one will be able to conquer you. After 500 yugas, you will give up the demon body, and by getting struck by the trident of Lord Mahadev, by my mercy, you will return to Golok Dham. Sridham pleaded, please never deprive me of devotional service unto your lotus feet. After Sridham left, Sri Radha approached Krishna with tears in her eyes and narrated the whole thing to him. Krishna pacified her. Thus, Srimati Radharani took birth as the daughter of Vishubhanu and married Abhimanyu. Hence why Srimati Radharani descends to earth. And Shankachuda, he actually became the husband of Tulsi Maharani. So there's always a plan. And Tulsi Maharani came from the spiritual world and is still present with us in the form of a beautiful plant. Once in great ecstasy. So anger is same. So sorry, anger. But this anger in the spiritual world is different, Naniven. So your comment is anger in the, sorry, what was it again? Anger is same in spiritual and material world. It has bad results. In one sense, yeah. But in another sense, the anger in the spiritual world is as part of the Leela of the Lord. It's to increase the enjoyment of the Lord. The anger is to increase the enjoyment of the Lord. But in the material world, the anger arises out of not being able to fulfill our lusty desires. So the anger in the spiritual world, anger in the material world are two very different things. But yes, I can see what you mean. The result can be devastating, if you like. But in any case, in the spiritual world, there's no such thing as devastation. Even though Radha may have been cursed to come to the material world, she always exists with Krishna in the spiritual world. So they expand, they come as expansions. Yes, Naniven.
Yes, but Sridham Chand had to turn into a demon, isn't it? And
Yeah.
Radharani had, in the material world here, had 100 years of separation. So,
Mm.
so I mean, I know in spiritual world it would be, but they are in the material world now, isn't it? Both of them.
But they're always eternally in the spiritual world. They continue that Leela anyway in the spiritual world. But here they come and again, they perform Leela. So, for example, Radha's separation from Krishna for 100 years was not really separation. Because what happened at that time was her, she was thinking Krishna's gone, but we know Krishna never leaves Vrindavan, he never leaves Radha, right? But what happened? She was thinking, because the trauma of seeing him on the chariot with a crew was so great that she was thinking, and all the gopis were, and everybody was thinking, he's gone. But Krishna was always present in Vrindavan. But because of that separation, her love for Krishna grew beyond even what is in the spiritual world. So when Krishna was seeing Radharani's love for him when she was in separation, he was trying to contemplate, how is this even possible that she can love me so much? What does she see in me that she can love me so much? Her love intensified so much, even more than in the spiritual world. And that's when he had the desire, oh, let me capture her bhav, her love for me, so that I can actually try to understand. So that's when he came as Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. He decided, right, I'm going to steal her love from me and see what it's like. And he appeared as Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So the incarnation of Mahaprabhu may not have taken place if this pastime did not happen, for example.
Yeah.
So it's very much intertwined, these there's a reason behind this anger, and it's brought about by the Supreme Lord himself through his uh, his
Yogamaya.
yes, exactly right, through his yoga maya. That yoga maya controls what's going on in terms of the Leela. Yeah, well done, Animan. Yes, correct.
Maybe it's a lesson for us mortal beings
Yeah,
that this is what happens when somebody gets angry and curses. That this is maybe it's a lesson for us
as
to
well.
learn, isn't it?
Yes. That's true. And even Shankachuda, although he was cursed to be a demon, actually he had a very close relationship with Tulsi in the spiritual world. And that was also fulfilled in the material world. So Shankachuda or Sridham actually um, married Tulsi. And then as Sankachuda, there was all sorts of things going on, and he was defeated by Lord Shiva. But that defeat again was not a defeat, because through that process, he was allowed to go back to the spiritual world.
Mm.
So, but he never left the spiritual. Well, this is another thing we have to understand, that these personalities, they simultaneously are here and they continue their seva in the spiritual world.
We have to be alert to that fact all the time, Prabhuji, because all these leelas,
Yeah.
each for we read all this in the books and everything, that we have to understand that this is only in this material world, because nothing like this happens in the spiritual world.
Nothing. You mean the cursing?
Curses or fightings or these separations and
Yeah, I mean, in the spiritual world, this is what happened in the spiritual world. So is again under the arrangement of Yoga Maya. So the cursing took place in the spiritual world, but that cursing it brings greater joy to Krishna. He sees Radharani angry and he runs away. And how do you understand that? But that's actually giving Krishna uh, joy. Oh, she's angry. It means that she loves me.
yeah.
She wants me so much. She's angry. So yeah, it is hard for our material minds and intelligence to try to understand this relationship between Radha and Krishna. It is definitely very tough.
Thank you, Prabhuji.
Thank you, Naniman. Thank you. So once in great ecstasy, Lord Shiva told his wife Parvati the amazing pastime of Srimati Radharani's appearance. At high noon, on the 8th day of the bright fortnight in the month of Bhadra, the moon turned full to greet Radha. So although it was the 8th day, going towards the full moon, actually the full moon appeared. There is his full glory. King Vrishabhanu came to the Yamuna to bathe and found himself engulfed in a golden aura. The golden aura of pure love. It was emanating from a lotus which had a baby girl standing on its roll. When the king returned to their home in Raval with the baby, Queen Kirtida was delighted. So this is very interesting how Radharani, she just simply appears. and this incredible aura of love is surrounding her. And this is a wonderful painting which it depicts this scene. Vishvanu there, father of Radharani, finds her. King Vishvanu was so blissful that he gave large amounts of cloth, gold, oils, and cows in charity to the Brahmins, Vaishnavas, musicians, dancers, and the poor. But very soon they all were overcome with sadness as the baby girl did not open her eyes. Everyone wondered, would she be blind forever? So you can imagine the grief that they would have been going through at that time. This glorious child, but she's not opening her eyes. Soon after, the great sage Narad, playing sweetly on his veena, came to King Vishvanu and asked. Of course, Narad Muni doesn't just ordinarily appear. He knew Srimati Radharani has appeared. He came to take darshan. How is your kingdom and your overall welfare? After some polite words, the grieving Vishvanu answered, by your grace, all is well. Everyone is full of Hari Bhakti, but my little girl has still not opened her eyes since she took birth. Then, believing in the power of Narad to perform miracles, the king quickly placed Radha in Narad's lap. Narad felt an unknown ecstasy immediately overwhelm him. His hair stood on end and torrents of tears gushed from his eyes. Radha, lying on his lap, decided to mercifully reveal her divine form to Narad Muni. She sat on a gem-studded throne under a wish-fulfilling tree with innumerable sakhis surrounding and worshipping her. A bright glow emanated from her. So this shows that we're not dealing with ordinary personalities here. These are extraordinary personalities. No one but Narad Muni could see this divine vision. He closed his eyes to try to conceal his emotions and silently offered his praise. Oh, you who are the life force of Krishna. So look at Narad Muni's first prayer. You are the life force of Krishna. That's a huge statement, and it shows the position of Narad Muni, his understanding, his greatness. She is the life force of Krishna. You are the supreme goddess of Bhakti, Bhakti Devi, we know her as, and bewildered even Govinda with your charm. Who can bewilder the supreme personality of Godhead? Only his own energy. All the demigods headed by Lord Brahma and Lord Shiva meditate upon your lotus feet. Even Mahalakshmi is part of you because you are Adi Shakti, the original potency. So she is Adi Shakti. She is the origin of the Shaktis. After the revelation of Radharani concluded, Narad Muni had somewhat composed himself. He handed the baby girl back to Vishvanu, who looked at him anxiously. Narad spoke, you are most fortunate. Your daughter, who is the dearest to Lord Hari, will fill all of Gokul with bliss. Your glory will spread far and wide. Vishvanu. But will her eyes open? Vishvanu replied. Don't worry. On the day of King of Braj, Nand Maharaj and his wife Yashoda Rani come to you with their darling boy Krishna, all will be perfect. So Krishna, Narad Muni is aware of that secret. Parvati actually questioned, why did the girl keep her eyes closed? Lord Shiva responded, she did not wish to see anyone or anything of this world except Krishna. See how important Krishna is to Radharani. So even she would not open her eyes for her own father and mother, who were great, great devotees. When Krishna requested her to appear, she made a vow. I will come to this world, but I will not see anyone but you. Narad Muni's prophecy became fulfilled. Shortly after his visit, Rishabhanu Maharaj arranged for a festival, invited Nanda and Yashoda. During this festival, Krishna, who was 1 year old then, crawled into Radha's room and looked at his eternal consort. At that time, Radha opened her eyes. As their gaze is locked, they were reunited. Hence, the divine couple met for the first time on this earth. So this is from the Padma Puran in Uttarakhand. And this is a glorious painting by, I don't know who, but amazing painting. Krishna's looking at Radharani. He's one. She's just a little younger than one, I think. Radha's eyes have blue pupils because Krishna is always reflected in them. This is very interesting. Her eyes are blue. Why? Because she's always looking at Krishna. So Krishna is reflected in those eyes. Her only purpose is to give Krishna pleasure. And she engages those souls who take shelter in her to directly serve Krishna. In fact, one of her names is Karunamai. She who is full of compassion. Okay, so we can stop there and continue tomorrow. It's a very interesting section coming up as well. Any questions, any comments? Okay, we can stop.
Radha Krishna Prabhuji.
Yeah.
Yes, yesterday's session when we discussed Radha is a Krishna's internal potency. So is this that Krishna is a person, is a whole, and the internal potency part is Radha, or is that Radha and Krishna one over the other, just like one hand over the other hand?
It's both. As far as I understand, they're one.
Yes.
But at the same time, they're also separate. So it's both. The internal potency, is the example was given about the sun, how you have the sun and you have the sunshine. It's very hard to differentiate between the two because without the sun, there would be no sunshine. And without sunshine, there's no meaning to sun.
Yeah.
So it's hard for us to get our head around because our calculations are materially based. But this is a sort of a spiritual, manifestation, which it is undoubtedly very hard for us to understand the position of Radha Krishna. Yeah. But it is both. Rather, what you said, the first is correct, and what you said, the second is
Both.
correct as well.
Okay.
Both are correct. So it's a unique situation. It really is. Radha Tattva is harder to understand than anything. Even Krishna, as we know, Krishna doesn't fully grasp, the depth of Radharani's feeling towards him. So Radha Tattva, if Krishna can't understand it, then who are we? So, okay, thank you, Nariman. Okay, if there's nothing else, we can stop. Radha Krishna Bhagwan ki jai.